Hi there, I'm Chris Magnuson. We're here at Chris Hadfield Public School with NPSS News for their grand opening. And to hold up, if you don't know who Chris Hadfield is, he's my biggest hero. He's an astronaut, so he's a pretty cool guy. We're going to try and get an interview with him and some other cool people. Let's go. Here with Chris Hadfield, who's
Chris.
Nice. Boom. And we're at Chris Hadfield Public School, as you know. So, yeah. So, do you think you'd ever be standing here today?
Nobody ever says when they're young, someday I'd like to have a school named after me. That's not what you set out to do. But hopefully maybe something you've done in your life is worthwhile, and to have then someone say, we think what you've done in life is worthwhile enough that we're going to name a school after you is a tremendous privilege and an honor, but also a responsibility. And I think part of the responsibility is setting an example, but the other part is having a chance to be here and help open the school officially today. So yeah, it's a real thrill.
All right, and do you have any advice for students that want to either be an astronaut or really do anything across Canada?
I think the most important thing is to have an idea of what you might like to change in the world. What don't you like about the world? What do you think needs changing? And then how can you turn yourself into somebody that can make that change? How can you gain a skill so that then maybe you can be part of changing something in the world for what you think is better? I think that's really the most important thing. Start changing yourself, because you're the one that's going to do that, to turn yourself into somebody that can maybe do something that's important. And if you follow that through your whole life, it's amazing where it can lead. Someday they might even name a school after you.
Ground control to Major Tom. Ground control to Major Tom. Lock your Soyuz hatch and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control to Major Tom. Commencing countdown, engines on. 3, 2, detach from station and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom.
So, let me see if it causes noise. No, it doesn't. Great. Let's launch a rocket ship, okay? Let's think about that. Because today we're launching a school. And so if you want to launch a rocket ship, first you have to think, what do we want our rocket ship to do? Just like the school. We're going to launch a rocket ship. Why? What do we want our rocket ship to do? And then once you've decided what you want that rocket ship to do, then you have to build all of the equipment to make it launch. And it's the same with Chris Hadfield Public School. What do we want this school to do? And then how are we going to work together to make it launch and be successful? But if we want to launch a rocket ship, let's see, what do we want our rocket ship to do? What do you think? We want our rocket ship to fly, right? So it has to be able to fly up in the air. And once it flies, what's it going to do when it gets there? What do you think? Yeah? Right, go where you want it to go. So we got two things for our rocket ship. It needs to be able to fly, and it needs to be able to go where we want it to go. Maybe one more thing. Yes. and then we want it to successfully get to where we want it to go. That's 3 things for our rocket ship. So let's talk about that. We're going to build a rocket ship. What are we going to have as our rocket ship? Let's see. I want to choose something here. Okay, here's my rocket ship right here. So here's our rocket ship, and we want to build this rocket ship to be able, first, to be able to fly. So just like this school, we need to build the rocket ship so we can do all those things. So if you're going to build a rocket ship, first it needs a motor on the back, and we'll say this little black thing on the bottom is the motor that's going to push it. But if it just pushes it, it can go anywhere. Just like this school, you have to have it built right. So this rocket ship needs to have wings, and it's got these 3 wings on it. So we're building our rocket ship, we're building our school so that we know that it can fly the way we want. And then the second thing was we need to be able to go where we want it to go, right? So we need a brain. We need people that know how to make this rocket ship steer. We need smart people. We need people that can control it from the ground, and people can steer on board. And look around your school how many smart people you have. Look at all those teachers sitting over there and sitting over here who are trying to help you steer your rocket ship to go places and teach you things that you need to go. And then the last thing was, we want to successfully arrive. Have you ever thought about why you're at school? What is it you want? You want to graduate. You want to be one of the big kids in the back. You want to hit the last year of school and have learned all those things so that you can arrive at the end of school ready for the next part of your life. And that is how we build rocket ships, but it's also how we build schools. So, let me just say one more thing. It is a huge honor for me to have my name on your school. Imagine if someone names a school after you someday. It's a huge honor. So I thank everybody and all the teachers for being so good with my name. But I want you to think about something right now, okay? The next time you go into the library, or if you go into a bookstore, what part of the library do you like to go to? What part of the bookstore, if you walk into a bookstore, I bet you always go to the same parts, because that's what interests you, whether you even think about it or not. And it might be good after you've been in a library or a bookstore, when you come out and go, what parts of the library did I go to? Because that's kind of who I am. That's what interests me when nobody's telling me what to do. And then start thinking about, if that's what interests me, then who do I want to be? What jobs could I have? Don't let some adult say to you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't think it's a fair question. Instead, say, what do I love and what do I want to change? What don't I like? What do I think I could maybe help change in life? And then start turning yourself into that person. Because it is amazing what can happen in life. When I was a Srini's age, I just dreamed about maybe someday flying in space. And then I studied and learned, and amazingly enough, I learned enough things that they trusted me to fly a spaceship. And I flew in space 3 times. And I grew up here in Southern Ontario, just like you. So think about why we built this place. Think about where it's going. Think about where you want to land. And it is incredible what can happen within your lifetime when you choose who you want to be.